Howdy-o, everybody. What's crack-a-lacking, guys? We got lots going on, lots to talk about. We need to get into it, so let's do it. Listen, guys, we've got... Look at those big eruptions right there. But I got you right here to show you this little sundiver right here. This is a sundiving comet. So we're going to talk about that here in a minute. Check it out. Going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Also, we're going to talk about Aurora. Let me back that off a little bit. We've got some Aurora in our future. Check that out. And we'll go over that a little bit too here in just a few minutes. As you can see, we are in a radiation storm currently. We've had multiple big blasts today. And just let me tell you this. This is not like big, huge right at us. These things are not directly hitting us and giving us these storms. We do have one on the way coming right at us. I actually showed you guys that yesterday, but I think we actually have some more coming too. Now this right here is today's SOHO. What is this? This is a coronagraph, and what I'm gonna show you right here, guys, is check out all these blasts today. These things are ridiculous. Boom, boom, and then there was like 3 or 4 of them just cracking off everywhere. I've also watched a couple other videos today. I think some people got a few things a little bit mixed up. So yeah, are we 5 for 5, by the way? Did I ever even get that? Somebody give me a 5 for 5. Are we good? Are we good? Are we good? Can everybody hear me? And I also want to say thanks to Aaron already gifting a membership before the stream even started. 5 of them. So whoever got those, tell him thanks. Hey, Aaliyah, good to see you. Hey, Miss V, what's up, girl? Okay, so yeah, so let's dive into this, guys, and I'm going to put that up there for Ron. Thank you again, brother. 5 more memberships. I'm thinking about doing a members-only stream right after this one, if I can get this one in quick enough before Marfugo goes live. We may try to do a members-only stream tonight. I was going to do it yesterday, and you guys see my members-only stream, or the community post. Yeah, it was bad yesterday. I have chronic kidney stones, and yesterday was had me bent over most of the day. It was not fun. So I do apologize for not being able to. I did the one in the morning, but I wasn't able to get a members only in. But I will be doing that hopefully tonight. And even if you guys want to hang around after Marfugal, it's going to be really late. I'll be up anyway. So if you guys want to do a members only, then we can do that too. I can do 2 of them if we need to. It's not a big deal to me. So yeah, but check that out, guys. That's just crazy, crazy eruptions. I just don't even know what to say sometimes with this kind of stuff. These things, I don't want to say crazy. See, I feel like I'm kind of upplaying that, and I don't want to do that. So please don't pick up that energy from me there, because I'm not really trying to overplay this at all. I just don't want to underplay it this time like we have for the past 4 or 5 different solar storms. And but this one is a little bit different, and we're going to go into why. So let's just kind of get into that right now. I'm going to pause that as we're moving here. And so what I'll do here, guys, this is where the sundiver was. This is LASCO C3. Now, this tool right here is actually on this. Okay, these 2 tools are on the same satellite. It's a satellite observatory. It's called SOHO. Let me back it up to the home page here. It's right there. It's about 1 million miles closer to the sun than what we are from our point of view. It's as if you went outside and looked up. It gives us about 1 million mile warning, which means that's about an hour. Okay? For just whatever, it's kind of a rule of thumb. So it sits out in front of Earth, so anything that's going to hit us is going to hit that satellite too, typically. And it had to have some weird, odd characters for something to not hit that satellite and hit us. It would have to be coming from some different direction. There's no doubt about it. So if I take you guys back here, this is NOAA, Space Weather Prediction Center. Obviously, anybody that's ever watched me before knows that all these boxes up here during normal conditions to be green. They're not green. So what's that mean? It means we have some space weather incoming and impacting now. You can see right here it says latest observed. That's what NOAA is picking up there. 24 hours maximums over here. So if you just want to gaze at something real quick, this is a really cool dashboard to go to. This is NOAA Space Weather Prediction Center, and it's the space weather dashboard. If you scroll down, you can go all the way down here and go to dashboards. And we have Aurora, Aviation. You can think of those just like little tabs. Anything you want to know about this particular topic, Aurora, how space weather is affecting Aurora, hit that button and you're going to get this one. Okay? So they put it on a hub for you, and that's why I wanted to show it to you. So, also, this is the D region, so let's start here. And I got some really interesting things to show you here on SDO, guys. This is another satellite in geosynchronistic orbit. All it means it's over the same part of our planet at all times, and it always looks at the sun. Okay, it's like the Lord of the Ring eye. Always moving, pivoting, always looking at us. Or always looking at the sun. So I do want to show you guys what's going on with this, because I don't usually show you the 171, because a lot of times it's not very beneficial for what we're talking about. Okay, we see certain things here we can't see in other angstroms. They filter out all the light except for the 171 wavelength. So it sees a specific gas and it gives us a different visual, so we can have a better visual understanding of what's going on the sun. So when we switch angstroms, we're switching to a different gas. You can kind of think of it that way, okay? So instead of eating black beans, you got to eat brown beans, right? You get certain kinds of gas. I'm just kidding. But yeah. Anyway, let's go up here. And I do want to because I don't want to get off topic here. This is going to take, I need to stay concentrated. So I'm not ignoring the chat. I will see if somebody, gifts memberships or a super chat or something like that. I'll see that. But other than that, I probably won't see much. I trust my mods in there. Guys, just be adults. It's the only rule we ever need to have here. Genius, what's up? Well, thank you. I appreciate that. That's awesome. Thank you. $50 super chat. Wow. So generous. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate that. And we'll give you a proper thanks here about halfway through you and AA, Ron. So far, anyway. Okay. So, guys, I am going to try to stay focused. So, please allow me to do that. And I trust my mods in there. Just don't attack each other or any other channel. Don't say anything negative about any other channel. Those comments get ripped out of there immediately, even if I don't like them. Okay, we just don't do that here. That's how you keep the drama away. So, that, and I ain't gonna waste my time on it, to be honest with you. I'm human though, guys, so when certain things are said about somebody that I care about or about me, I will react once in a while. Typically, I'm pretty calm and just letting it go, but you hit me on the wrong day, sometimes you'll at least know where I stand. So we'll just leave it at that. So we're talking about the proton flux, guys. Okay? So why are we getting a radiation storm when we don't have a CME hitting? Because we don't. We don't have a CME hitting right now. Geomagnetic activity is at nominal readings right here. This is very normal. This is actually very, very good. We need some geomagnetic activity, magnetism, hanging around in our atmosphere to help us block off cosmic rays. Okay? That's one of the biggest things that we have to understand. This is a balance we teeter back and forth on, right? The sun actually helps protect us from what? The sun. Okay? So if it gives us enough geomagnetism and the polarities and stuff are right, when it shoots a big CME at us, we can fend it off because we stayed strong, right? So we don't want to be in the basement, and we don't want to be on the roof. Okay, that's pretty much what I'm telling you. You want to be kind of in the middle. So right now, we're kind of in a perfect spot magnetism-wise. Okay? But solar proton flux is not. Now, listen, I've told you guys this 1,000 times already, and I don't want to overplay it. So I'm not going to do that. But I do want to show you, where are the space weather scales? I had them up here. Here they are. Radiation storm level 1. Look, biological. There should be no effects to us whatsoever. Okay? It says it right here. I mean, this is their scale. So, I mean, come on. Satellite operations, it won't even affect the satellites. Other systems. So, you're probably asking, well, why do they have the S1? Well, first off, they have to have a starting point. Okay? Second off, I would say that there is, right here, is why. Minor impacts on high-frequency radio in the polar regions. This is affecting very few people. But there are people that it affects. So they started their scale here. Okay? So if we're just mindful of what this actually means, we don't blow this out of proportion, which I see happening on every other channel almost. It drives me up the wall when I see people making a huge deal about an S1 radiation storm. Because, in essence, they're crying wolf. They're telling you something, they're making it out to be a huge deal, and it is having... Nobody would even know this was going on unless I said something to you. You see what I'm saying? Or if they did, right? So I'm just going to leave it at that. Now, once we start getting into S2, there's some things that can happen. S3, obviously. And so when things get higher and higher and higher, that's when we got to pay attention. This is kind of, in my opinion, is like the warning shot right here. That tells us, hey, you might want to look. We got some protons hanging around. Let's just go look and see what's going on, right? That kind of thing. So, yeah, we're at an S1. And it's kind of hanging out there, right? We're not going to know any different. Just so, I mean, I'll just leave it at that. I'm not going to waste too much more time on that part of it. Now, if we get hit again, yes, this thing can go to an S2. It can go to an S5 if we get the right kind of conditions. But you know, I don't see that happening right now. I'm not saying that that's even on the radar, but you know, right, perfect condition type of stuff. Yes, we could get hit with another one and everything else. So, yeah. Oh, wow. Deep Quake Paul comes in with the big 10 memberships, man. Wow. You guys are killing it. Thank you so much, man. Wow. You guys, I tell you, you know, yeah, I'll give you a proper thanks here about halfway through, okay, guys? But thank you. I really, truly do appreciate that. And again, guys, remember, we might be doing the members only right after this. I may go right into it. So if you guys want to hang around for that, you can. I'm going to try to get it in before Marfugo goes live. But if he goes live, we'll end up cutting it short and all that kind of thing. But anyway, so this is what the D region looks like. Okay, the D region, I'm not going to explain to you exactly what that is. But obviously, we're looking at a region of our atmosphere. Okay, we see flares, and when we see a flare hit, the D region shows it as almost like a bullseye signature. Okay, so yeah, and then the next question is going to be, well, why are we seeing all this mess? Well, that is your radiation storm. Okay, so when flares hit, it does that. Okay, now a longer duration flare obviously would stay, you know, a little bit stronger for a little longer. But you can definitely see, and I showed you guys this 2 days ago when the protons first started to increase from a CME that had crossed over our magnetic field line. And I'll go over that here in just a minute. Well, we've had 2 humongous blasts off the sun today. At least 2. But they were 180 degrees from one another, and they were both on the east and west limb of the sun. Okay, so what I'm telling you that is this. You have the danger zone on one side, and then you have the not so danger zone on the other side. But even with the blast on the side that's not, it added protons to our deal here. That is something to be said. Okay, so, and I'll explain to you what I'm talking about. Before I go any further, might as well just take care of that right now. That's why I got the 171 pulled up here for you. So, they call this area over here the danger zone, right? Over here on the right side of the sun. From our point of view, if you look up to the right side of the sun, that's actually the west. It's reverse. When you're talking east-west on the sun, you have to pretend you're standing on the sun. Oh, We got in there, get the membership in there. What's going on here? What is crack-a-lacking with Planet Hermit? Wow, thank you. 10 more memberships, guys. That's awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. That is so cool. Well, thank you. Thank you so much. And again, I'll give you guys a proper thanks here in just a few minutes. But, so we got the danger zone over here, right? Why is that the danger zone? Well, because our magnetic connection line to the sun is over here. That's that simple. And it's fluid. It moves. It moves up and down. It can move closer or further apart or further away from Earth. It's not a straight line, right? Trish, what are you doing, girl? Wow, you and hubby, love it. Thank you so much. 5 more gifted memberships. That is so cool. Thank you so much. Gosh, you guys are just wonderful people, man. I'm telling you. And I'll stop and give you a proper thanks here in just a few minutes. I promise. Anyway, but we're moving back and forth, right? Up and down, up and down, up and down. So when we have a CME over here, it'll blast out that direction, correct? When it does that, sometimes it'll cross over that line. So any protons that are in that CME that are of the nature to be able to grab, right? It'll grab them and it'll come right back to us. We've had backside eruptions completely going the other direction, give us a decent sized radiation storm, okay, from that particular effect. If it's able to get to our magnetic connection line to the sun, it'll travel right back to us. It's really kind of that simple. That's why they call that the danger zone. I don't like calling it that because this, right? This is what happens. S1. What did I just say about the S1? No effect whatsoever, hardly at all. And I'm not trying to downplay that. I'm really not. I'm just trying to be where it's at, right? That's exactly what it is. It tells you no biological effects, no satellite operations. If it's doing anything outside of that, it needs to be an S2. Right? That's what we would expect to see during an S2 storm. That's why they do these. Right? So, again, that's the danger zone. But we had 2 big blasts over here. And I want to match these up with Soho over here too. Okay? And we are going to do that. So, hold on to your britches here because we're getting into it now. This is something that it's a decent, I mean, this could end up being a strong to possibly severe type of storm. And when I say the word severe, before I go any further, when we're talking about geomagnetic storms, severe is not the highest level, okay? When I say strong and severe, I can switch that word out for G3 and G4 geomagnetic storm, okay? We've already had a G5 this year. I think we've had 2 G4s maybe, I think. So just keep that in mind when I'm talking to you guys, okay? So I'm using the correct words there. I want you guys to understand what they mean in relation to what I'm talking about. Because you could take those 2 same words and apply them to a thunderstorm, and guess what? They take on a whole different meaning. Because when you're talking about a severe thunderstorm, that's about as high as it gets for like just talking about a thunderstorm. Then you got the other type of storm, tornadoes, right? But if somebody says, hey, we got a strong thunderstorm coming, most people will stop and pay attention. You tell them, hey, we got a severe thunderstorm going to hit in 2 or 3 days or 2 or 3 minutes, and you start hearing the sirens pop off. There you go. I mean, it takes on a whole different deal here, right? So I just want to make sure that you guys understand that I'm not trying to go any direction with that. So when I say those words, that's what this means. Severe is not the highest thing we get. Extreme is what we would say a G5 is. Okay? So just so you understand that. I don't want somebody thinking that, oh, it's the end of the world, run. But anyway, so let's take a look at this thing. And I am going to back this off a little bit just so I can navigate it a little bit. For you guys watching on your phones, I hope you guys can still see that good enough, I guess. So I took this back and I started this on the 7th. Okay, so this is a run from the 7th till present time. So I'm actually going to skip over a couple days here because there were some eruptions there too. Okay, so I'm going to start it about here on the 9th. And what I want you to pay attention to, and I'm going to slow it down too. And when we get there, I'll show you. I'm going to pause it when we get there. Okay, so there was an eruption right here, very early on the day, on the 9th, today, this morning. Okay, you guys see how that was all... Let's just do it this way. You guys can't see that very well. I know you can't. So I can't see it very well myself, so we're just going to have to do it this way. I don't like doing it this way, but that's what we're going to do. So, I'll back it up here. And we got to watch your timestamp, okay? But right here, you're going to see an eruption. See that right there? That was that, I believe it was that I'm going to have to go look. I can't remember exactly how long that one was. So let's go back here for a second. That happened right about the turn of the day. It's this eruption right there. Okay? Notice how this is spiking right there. I think it's because we had a data dropout, so you could kind of draw this line up to here and then back down probably. It didn't get out of M-class range, okay? But it was a longer duration eruption. And then we had this one over here after that. These two were about 180 degrees away from each other on both limbs of the sun. So right here's this one, and I'm going to show it to you in full speed here because I want you guys to see how, you know, see how it disrupted the corona right there? So that's why we look at these different angstroms, because we get a different view. And I'll show it to you in a different angstrom here in a few minutes too. But check this out over here. This is the other one, okay? This one here, I think we've rarely seen a CME move that fast. Just judging visually. And I'll show you what I mean in a second. I mean, this thing really pops. See that? I mean, come on. You see how you almost didn't even see it. All right? So I'm going to slow it way down. Watch. Look at that. Okay? It's down here. And look what it does to the whole corona. The shock wave actually went back all the way over here across the surface. And I'll show it to you here in a second. So watch the well, just kind of gaze into the sun, right? Right here on the, just kind of like, don't like focus on one point. Just kind of look at the whole image at once, and you'll be able to see it move across the surface of the sun here. So here we go. See that? And you can see where it gets disturbed all the way out to here. So they're thinking that even though that was mostly on the backside, that actually could give us a glancing blow. And that's amazing to me when something like that happens. Okay? So you can see how fast that's moving. Now, I want to point something else out here too. This is not the center point. Okay? The center point's here. Watch. Here we go. I'll go forward now. It's coming. I promise. See that? So the edge was here and here. The center point's over here. We can't even see the spot where it originated from. It's on the backside of the sun. That's a large filament. Now, everybody's saying they're missing this, okay? And I don't say everybody. I've seen a couple videos where they got this part wrong, and it's really not that big of a deal. I just want you guys to have at least my opinion on what's happening here. Because we had this one over here, right? And now we got this one happen right after. And then boom. Now watch. We're going to get another one up here from a different filament. See that? And we're going to look at the 304 here in a second, because this one really shows up on the 304. That is a humongous filament. You can see where it just flicks off. So why am I saying that people are getting this wrong? Well, let me show you. Let's go here to the... So if I come down here, and this is Soho again, okay? This is the one that was here. Okay? Now, why am I saying it's there? Well, look at the edges. And if you kind of go to the middle, you're a little bit south of the equator, right? Also, the timing. Okay? Now, that's at 6 UTC on the 9th. And this was a massive one, guys. This one here is a big, big solar shot. Okay? This is not something that I feel lucky that thing ain't coming right at us, to be honest with you. Okay, I ain't saying it would have been grid down or anything like that, but what I am saying is that is a very significant eruption right there. Okay? So hopefully maybe it'll let me start this now. Okay, and I'll slow it down. So you can see where it originates, like right in there. Okay? Now, remember, this is the surface, not here. So if you track it back, it's like right there. So it's exactly where I just showed you guys over here. Right? Then, that was the second eruption. The first one was off to the right. And I can show you guys that one too, over here. Because it was the one right before this one. It was back here. See how close they erupted? 5 hours apart. That right there is what initiated the solar storm. It crossed over our danger zone line, right? That's what we're talking about. But anyway, it blasted off that direction, right? So it crossed over our magnetic field line, our connection to the sun. When it did so, the protons from inside that CME were grabbed by our magnetic field line, and it siphoned all them things right back to us, and we ended up with the proton storm, which essentially is a radiation storm. Okay? That's what that is. That's why, let me show you this too. Where did the D region go? Here it is. That's why you see it on the poles. Okay? Because when it's coming back to our planet, it's connected to us magnetically. Right? So we're not like connected to the sun at the equator. We got north and south pole, right? Positive, negative. That's how it comes in. It's coming in on our poles. And that's why you see it on our poles. Okay? Now, the flare part is just light. It's not protons. Protons have mass. It takes time for them to get here. Right? They get here faster than the CME does. But just because of the way that they travel. But they do have mass, and that does cause friction. All that stuff happens, right? But at the same time, when you're talking about a flare, you get the bullseye signature, and it's just X-ray. That's all that is. Okay? So I just want to make sure everybody's crystal clear on that. So when we see this like dartboard bullseye signature, that is the flare. And yes, when a CME hits, it can make the D region look like this. Okay, so if we get a big CME fired right at us, and we get hit with it, the CME doesn't have to travel past our interplanetary magnetic field line, because it hits. It's here, right? I mean, it's what it does. And our poles will grab everything there. And that's why the BZ is so daggone important, right? And I talk about the BZ all the time. And I just X'd out of the BZ, and I was trying to bring up the Discover data for you. That red line right there, just remember -6. That's really all you need to remember. -6 on the red line and down, further negative. Now, if you want to dive in and know exactly what that means, I go over that sometimes. Tonight, I'm not going to because I've got too much stuff to go over. But when the CMEs hit, this is one of those things that we look at, and it can make or break how hard a CME hits us. So if we're -6 or more, we take a harder hit. If the BZ is actually in the positive, it actually will deflect the stuff. Okay? Okay. So back here to SDO. I'm going to change the angstrom here, guys, real quick. Let's do that real quick, and then I will go back to Soho here, and we'll finish going over this. So there's the first eruption. All right, and it was big enough for what it was, right? But here's the second one. Obviously, this is the biggest one of the day, of this whole event. Honestly, okay, that's a massive one, guys. It truly is. If that thing was coming right at us, or even if it was going off the backside, this would have been it almost was a complete halo anyway. And this thing is almost going 90 degrees to our east. Okay, which would be left when talking about the sun. And remember, this black occulter disc is an actual disc on the camera. Okay, that camera has to have that, or we can't get a picture at all, or an image at all. It has to block that light. I haven't seen very many that really do what this is doing. You can see it just disturb. I mean, there's geomagnetism, all plasma just going everywhere around the whole sun over here, guys. Now, that's part of the first eruption there. That's how close these two were. And it goes right back to what I tell people all the time. When I first started reporting on this stuff and getting into this space weather thing, I started noticing real quick that we would have an eruption. Then shortly thereafter, we would have another one about 180 degrees the opposite way. And this is exactly what's happening here. Okay, we had the eruption over here, and then boom, 6 hours later, we get one there. And, the power of them vary, but I see it often. And I really don't know if there's any science behind that. It's just something I've observed. Because people always tell me, don't pay attention to this stuff, it's going off the backside. It's really not going to affect us. And for the most part, they're correct. But what I do is, when I see a big one go off the front or off the back, I start looking for something on the front for the next 12 hours. That's what I do. I mean, I look all the time anyway, but I get a little bit more focused when I see that kind of stuff. So that's just me. And I'd be curious if anybody else has that observation either. I don't know. I've really not talked to a whole lot of people about it. It's just something that I've noticed myself. Just a little observation, and I could be completely wrong. It could not be something that's all that big of a deal. But it's just something I think this kind of seemed a little odd to me, that there might be some science behind it. Okay, so this is 304 ionized helium. And while I'm talking about this, guys, give me a roll call there in the chat. Just a general region, if you would. State, that kind of thing. I would really prefer you not telling everybody exactly where you live in the chat. It's up to you, but I would caution against that. I'll just say that. So, again, guys, we're going to have, I'm going to go ahead and pause it here. And I'm going to just take it back to the 7th. And, guys, you see these dark shadows? Those are the filaments. Okay, that's a filament there. And the ones dancing over here, those are filaments too. Okay? So, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to just play it forward here. And now we had that little weird camera anomaly here. You see that? And that really isn't, it's nothing more than the camera having problems processing the light. Okay? It's just a camera anomaly. I'll just say that. Now, there's an eruption here. Okay? That's a decent size one, believe it or not. That one there is probably, oh gosh, I don't know. I wouldn't even guess how tall that is, but it's probably pretty decent up there when we're talking about miles or kilometers, depending on what kind of unit of measurement you're using. But yeah, so you've seen that one. And then there's the one yesterday that I showed you first thing in the morning. Okay, see that right there? That thing is most likely coming right at us. Well, I wouldn't say right at us, but it's going to hit us. Okay, and that's why they're forecasting geomagnetic storms in the next day or so. G2 by tomorrow. That's what they're saying. And that's the forecast. Now, if I was to go off of historic right now, just off of this sun cycle, I would raise that a number. Hey, somebody else gifted some memberships here. What we got here? Trish gifted 5 earlier. That's right, baby. Heck yeah. Okay, who I seen another gift. Oh, I was missed. What's up, girl? Good to see you. I love it. Thank you. I just now seen that. I'm sorry it took me a minute. I haven't been looking at the chat. Been trying to stay focused. I really do appreciate that, miss. You're awesome. Thank you for modding for me. I love all my mods, by the way. Okay, so I am going to stop and say thanks to everybody real quick. I do want to give it a little shout. Cleveland, Ohio, Papa Bjorn. What's up, bud? What's up, bud? Christine Velez Stone, Florida. TNAZ. That's right. Sunny and hot in Arizona, baby. Virginia is a Hoosier. She don't live in Virginia. She's here in the state of the Hoosier state with me. Nicole from Florida, South Florida, Alan G, Red Wine Entertainment, East Texas, baby. You know, that's one thing you don't get from every state. That's almost unique to your state, Red Wine. Most people don't give you like that, like the East Texas part. They would just say Texas. Texas is so huge, they have to do that, right? It's awesome, but that's just what it is. But yeah. And something else too, miss, before I forget, I just want to tell you thank you. You and your husband lifted my spirits when I needed it the other day. I have now, what can I say here? Adopted the phrase that you use. And that was you said that you and your husband weren't going to grow old on the couch. Guess what? I'm not either. I've been actually struggling with that a little bit in my head here lately. You know, I got more years behind me than I got in front of me. And that really did pick me up a little bit. So thank you for that. I just want to let you know that. Guys, get over and check out her channel, please. She really is. She's a good girl. Yeah, it's just good stuff. Go check her out. And thank you for the gifted memberships, guys. So, anyway, let's, Miss V. Oh, yeah, you're talking about Washington State. What's up, Reflections? Good to see you. What's up, Wrath? What's going on, bud? All right. Let's see here. Miss V's in the house. Hey, Marilyn, good to see you. Yeah, the hurricane. Hey, Butterfly. The hurricane, guys. That's it's going to be stronger than what they were saying at first. And what's odd about this one? Let me tell you something, guys. Guys, the models are agreeing with one another. That never happens. Never. I can't remember a time when I looked at a hurricane forecast model and almost all the spaghetti lines were lining up. Hey, back at you, Ilea. You're awesome. You're one of the... I mean, my gosh. Yeah. It is pretty cool, isn't it, genius? You know, like-minded people find each other. I'm telling you. I really do believe that. I truly believe that. You know, but I also want people that aren't like-minded, and we can share ideas and stuff, and that's how we learn, in my opinion. But, okay, anyway, enough of that. Love you guys, and thank you for all the gifted memberships and stuff today, and the Super Chat Genius. Awesome stuff. I did get your super thanks, too. I think I told you that last one, but I'm going to make sure I said it again. Thank you. All right, so, let's do this, and, so there's that. It's interesting that this thing is spinning as it comes off, right? At least it appears to be spinning. Guys, when I say something's spinning, when we're talking about magnetics, it really is just that magnetic line is in that shape. And it appears to spin. Now, when we got an eruption, sometimes the force and everything there can cause things to physically spin, right? But it's not wind. And I fight that with everybody a little bit, trying to help them understand. This is not, you know, low to high pressure moving to rush in to fill in an empty space, right? It just isn't. It's not like turning, you know, going down the coast with your convertible with the top down. right? It's not that, guys. It's just simply not that. We got what it is it's charged particles moving on a magnetic line. That's what it is. So you're seeing the particles move on the line that's shaped like that. And that's just what happened. Yes, the line moves, but it's not moving like you think, like a tornado would or anything like that. It's not moving like that. So anyway, and I know I've talked about that so many times, but you get that eruption there. So let's go to today's eruptions. We'll start with this one over here. Well, I guess I could back it up and show you that one right there. See that one? That was another eruption. I mean, they're just happening all over the place right now. So there's the long duration one. See how that one there just doesn't seem to have the power as this one did over here? So watch how slow this one comes off. See that? And then it hangs on. And it just keeps pumping plasma out, right? That right there is one of the biggest reasons why we were getting protons from it. Because it just kept shooting it out. Now, if we come over here and take a look at this one, watch how fast this thing pops. I'm going to go slow too. Look at that. It's gone. That's how quick it was. Now, this is the second one. Okay? This is the one that is... I want to show it to you here first because, well, remember I said I thought the people were getting it wrong. It's this one. This is the one that's popping off the top there. And people are saying, and I won't say people, there's a few others that kind of got it maybe a little bit wrong. And again, it's not a big deal. I just want you guys to have the right bearings here. I've made that mistake so many times it ain't funny. I just hope people correct themselves. That's what I do. But anyway, let's. So that's the second one. And how can I be so sure about that? Because I'm showing it to you here. That's the exact spot, guys. Look at the angle that's coming off right there. See that? Okay? And then look at that. It's in the same spot. So, with that being said, if I take you back to the previous one, this one, okay, that one, and I back this one up, where's it erupt at? Right here. Same spot, right? Right here is the same spot as right here. It all lines up, and the time frames line up. The timestamp is really what proves it, okay? So, yeah. But within 6 hours, we had a huge one on the west end, and then another huge one on the east end, east limb of the sun. So I just want to make sure you guys seen all that. That's all the eruptions that we had that I could see so far. And I will say this: we are currently having a flare as I was going live. Actually, I'll tell you what. Let's go over here for a second, back to SDO, and let's change the dates on this. Let's just look at today. Okay, and we will look at, I don't know, let's look at 94. That usually shows us pretty good about where the flares are and when the initial eruption happens. So let's let this thing load here just for a second. So again, you can see that longer eruption right there. Oh, wow. And I'll show you this one over here in the 94 too, because you can really see the speed of it there. Okay, you guys see that? Guys, that's right in front of us. That one's going to come right at us. If that produced a CME, that's going to hit Earth. Okay? I'll just say that. So right there was the end of it. We might have got two of them right there. That's the most current imaging right there. And that's right in the Earth strike zone. I mean, if that produced a CME at all, it will hit us. That's what I'll say to that. But there was one right before that. right there. See that? So there might be 2 more coming. I don't know. And it does make it difficult for this reason. Because we got this occulter disc to deal with. The coronagraph, most likely, unless it's a full halo or a partial halo, we won't see the energy from it. It's behind this disc. Okay? So, yeah. But that's just a massive eruption, guys. It truly is. I mean, that is something to behold. I hate saying things like this, but that's one of the fastest ones that I've seen erupt off. Just visually looking at it. Now, I won't say it's the biggest as far as size, because I've seen bigger. And matter of fact, I can show you a bigger one. It just happened earlier this week. How about, I think it was this one. Nope, I was wrong. Not that one either. Might be this one. Yep. This is what happened. Guys, see? This is what happened earlier in the week. Most people have forgotten about this one. This right here, what day was this on? The 5th? What's today? Alright, today's what? 9th going into the 10th? So we're talking 5-6 days ago, right? Well, guess what? 5 or 6 days brings us to here. And we know that that wasn't all the way on the front side. So it could be from the same spot. Also, that same spot from back here erupted earlier than that down here on the 3rd. Remember me showing you this one? That's all coming from the same area of the sun, guys. And I'm showing you this because you get this one. And then keep in mind here, guys, I'm showing them to you. There's one there. You get one here. That big one there. Then what's next? This one. So, if this spot continues doing what it's doing, this area of the sun, it will be facing Earth in the next day or two. That's why I'm really hammering this home. And I don't want people to, go crazy on all that, but yeah. I just want you guys to understand that this is what we're going to have to pay attention to. And we have to. I mean, this area, when we finally see what this thing looks like, when it crests over, it may not look all that impressive. We just don't know yet. Now, we can use seismic activity on the sun to map out what the backside of the sun looks like. But we've also got a couple of satellites back there. But for the most part, we don't get to see coronagraphs and all that kind of thing. We get more data collection and stuff like that. But yeah, I really do think we need to pay attention to this one, guys. I'm not, in no way, shape, or form am I scared. So please don't ever think that, okay? And I will say this too. Like I said, for the past week or month or two, everybody's been downplaying storms this year. And they're really not doing it on purpose. It's because of last sun cycle. Our last sun cycle was very, very weak. Or just kind of really non-active. But historically, this is what the sun should be doing. Okay? If you go back and look at the historic data, this is exactly what we should be seeing from the sun. Right? I mean, this is not something that has never been seen before. We've not seen any grid down type of eruptions yet. So that's what I'm trying to tell you guys. Just because it's very active and we personally haven't been able to see it and show it to you, doesn't mean that it's really off the scale odd. Right? Remember, guys, I bring this up all the time. The Carrington event was the point where space weather changed. Pretty much big time. Just because of the fact they were able to separate They now knew that a flare and a CME were two different things. Okay, that happened with the Carrington event. And that's when our data collection started a little different, right? But 2003, the Halloween storm of 2003 was an X45. We all still have power. That's all I'm saying. And that's what I'm saying. It's going to take more than what we're seeing to do something like that. Okay? And I'm not saying that, you know, if we get like the perfect storm back to back to back to back to back, because I do think that that would probably most likely be what would cause a big massive event like that for us to go down that big. But, you know, and I said this, so I don't even like talking about this because it makes me uncomfortable, because I don't want people to be scared and I don't want to downplay things either, because everything I just said is possible. I mean, yeah, eventually something big is going to hit us. We got to understand that. But we don't have to be scared about it. We can't control it, and we just got to move forward and get going. And, you know, prep whatever you want to prep. Prep where you're comfortable. That's what I tell people. Prep to where you're comfortable and then go one step further. And, you know, start off prepping for like a hurricane. Right? I mean, so that's just what I'll say. Now, yeah, you're right, Raph. It is. Yeah, the weaker our magnetic field is, it's yeah. All right, guys, enough of the spamming in there. Mods, yeah, if they want to start spamming stuff like that, I mean, that's just not cool. Get them out of there. I hate to be like that. I ain't trying to be a jerk, but you know, we don't do that to everybody. What's up, Hilly? I see Hilly in here. Thought I seen him. There he is. What's up, brother? Good to see you. All right, guys. So, listen. I don't want to sit here and rant on about something like that, but I do want to drive home that point. If it's ever going to be some sort of grid down situation that I think is going to happen, that will be the first thing that comes out of my mouth. And if I'm able to do so, because most likely it's going to take something that powerful that I might not have time to get out here and tell you about it. Like I said, guys, we got this one satellite, out there called Soho. That's where you get this image from. This is SDO here, but we can look at Soho right here. Right, now this is over here at Heliosphere. I'm not going to worry about that right now, but I guess I could do this. Let's do this. SDO, instrument, HMI. There we go. Okay, so yeah, there's your sunspots, and that's how big the Earth is. I show you guys this every show now. Okay, so what can we expect, right? I know everybody's sitting here wondering what the heck is going on tomorrow. Well, they're forecasting here, guys, on the 10th. We're supposed to start getting hit right around a little bit after lunchtime. G1, G1, G2, right? And then again on the 11th. Why are we got a separation there, right? Well, I showed you guys this yesterday. Look at that, guys. Oh my goodness gracious. By the way, don't forget about this sun diver right here. Okay? Now, I do not think, because I know it's a question, I ask that question every time I see it, by the way. I do not think that had anything to do with these eruptions. Okay? It would have to be closer before it started instigating the sun like that. And they do. Sun divers do instigate the sun. We'll see eruptions left, right, and center. Okay? Now, but if I come down here to the model here, this is the Enlil spiral. This is NOAA's version. I showed you guys this already. They haven't updated it since a couple days ago. So, which is actually good for what we're talking about, because right there, you see how that split? Those are two different CMEs. there's another one back here. That's a small one. It's not very big, but it is slated to hit. So we're taking a double hit right here. Stereo A, which is the red one, is only taking one hit. Why? Because the other one is actually too far our direction. So what's happening is we are in between two CMEs. And it looks like we're going to get hit with the wake of both of them. And that can be good, or that could be not very good. Okay? So I just want to make sure you guys understand that, because after this one, we got more coming. It's happening, guys. We're gonna be talking about geomagnetic storms for the next week, probably. At least. Now, we also got this. This is something nobody's talked about yet either, because it hasn't been here very long. That's a coronal hole. That we will connect to that. And we will get solar wind, an increase in solar wind from that. Also, these coronal hole streams, depending on their magnetism, can help steer the CMEs one direction or the other. And Trish, thank you again for that. Those gifted memberships. It just hit me, guys. When I get a gifted membership, it doesn't stay on my thing. I have to like remember it. It's ridiculous, but yeah. And I can't pull it up because I'm doing this on my own, as far as running all the technical stuff. And when that happens, I can't go in the back office and pull it up and look. So thank you, Trish. I think I might have not mentioned you when I stopped earlier. Sorry about that. It kind of dawned on me. I do appreciate it so much. You and your husband, you guys are awesome. Awesome peeps. I'm telling you. Spam and CMEs is what we do. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. I love it. I do. That's awesome. Okay. Sorry I got sidetracked there, but I was not going to forget Trish. Trish, she's awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. She's one of the longest spanning Wages World Kool-aid Krew, I guess we could call it. But anyway, guys, we got these coming right there. Now, again, I do want to point out that, where's the stupid scales at? I had them up here. Okay, there they are. We got a chance, guys, of getting a stronger, severe type of storms here. If these things keep coming, we're gonna sneak up in here. Now, I'll also say this too. Every storm that's been forecasted this year, at least the bigger ones, have been under forecasted. I don't think they're going to try to make that mistake again, which actually kind of sets me to the mindset that we have to be a little bit extra cautious now that they might overcompensate. So I don't want to come out and we talked about this the last time, and that's why when I see a geomagnetic storm or a big solar storm coming off the sun, I try to look at it with no biases one direction or the other. It's hard to do sometimes, but if you can get yourself to pull yourself out of that stinking thinking type of thing, you can, if you just rely on what the data's telling you and showing you the models are, you'll do okay. I'll just say that. So, but yeah, okay. What time is it, guys? 9:44. So yeah. Now, I'm not sure. I wish I knew what time Adam and Dex were going live. Okay. Alright, guys. You guys want me to do a members only stream? Members that are in here right now. If you want me to do a members only stream right now, I will. It's up to you guys. You tell me what you want to do, or we can wait until tomorrow and I can get it set up and like set for us. If I do it tomorrow, I will do it before any of this happens. Okay? And I will dedicate 2 hours of my night tomorrow, 100%, just for the members only stream. You guys let me know what you want, if you could. No? Yes, please? Sure. I'll be there. I'm there. Side of salt? Alright. All right, guys, I am going to go ahead and end this one. I will fire up a members only real quick. It's not going to have some big fancy thumbnail, but we'll get a members only thing going here, and see if we can't have some fun over there. Watch, guys. We'll probably watch some Zoom Court again. I got a couple Zoom Court videos that we could do, and I just don't want to rush it. You know what I mean? So if we end up having to cut it short or something, we'll do it again tomorrow too. Okay? Hey, Ripper. Good to see you, brother. Thank you for that, man. Guys, I'm so blessed to have the friends that I have, and Ripper's right at the top. Ilea, everybody, guys, Miss V, all you guys. You guys are. I mean, Ripper's been there for me when him and Ilea both have been there for me when a whole lot of other people weren't, and it's kind of crazy. I've never put a hug on either one of them, and I feel like I'm closer to them than I am half the people that I live next to. You know what I mean? It's just a weird world today. But that's life. So I really truly do view them as brothers and sisters. That's the God's honest truth. So just so you guys know, and I appreciate all you guys too. And so I am going to fire up a members only. So we're going to do that, guys. All right. So here we go. God bless. Yahusha saves. And as always, I'll give you updates too. Anything big's happening, I'll be here. Okay. You